It is 59,000 years ago in a cold Siberian cave. An adult Neanderthal has a lower molar with decay reaching deep into the tooth. A narrow point of stone enters the hole. Fingers rotate it against exposed dentine. There is no anesthetic, no electric drill, no clean white room. But this is not torture, it is treatment. So how did ancient humans survive a toothache? Most people assume they simply endured it until the tooth fell out. Someone pulled it free or the infection killed them. That happened, but it is not the whole story. Long before dentists or written prescriptions, humans were already locating dental pain, testing tools, and trying to make it stop. Ancient teeth were not automatically healthy just because refined sugar did not exist. Tooth decay depended on diet, and prehistoric diets varied enormously. About 15,000 years ago, hunter-gatherers living at Taforalt in Morocco ate wild plant foods rich in fermentable carbohydrates. Researchers found cavities in more than half of their surviving teeth. So the first defense against toothache was not medicine. It was luck. Where you lived, what you ate, and the shape of your teeth could decide whether your mouth stayed quiet or began pulsing with pain. When pain arrived, people did something familiar. They picked at it. A Neanderthal upper jaw from Cova Foradà in Spain showed severe dental wear, bone loss, and periodontal disease. Between two teeth, researchers found a smooth groove, created by repeated contact with a thin object. A small stick or sliver of bone had been pushed into that space again and again. The goal may have been to remove trapped food, reduce pressure, or scratch inflamed tissue. It was primitive flossing, except the gums were diseased, and the floss was rigid. The Neanderthal was not ignoring the problem. The Neanderthal was treating a symptom, and a stick could provide relief. Removing food from beside an infected tooth could reduce pressure. Rubbing swollen tissue might briefly distract the nervous system. If the gum drained, relief could be immediate. Temporary, messy, but real. Sometimes enough. The first dental instrument may have been lying under every tree. Then there were plants. Researchers studying ancient DNA trapped inside Neanderthal plaque found evidence of poplar in the mouth of one individual from El Cedron in Spain. This person also showed signs of a dental abscess. Poplar contains salicylic acid, the chemical ancestor of aspirin. The same calculus contained material related to penicillium mold. That does not prove Neanderthals understood antibiotics. The mold may have entered the mouth accidentally, but the combination suggests something important. A person in pain may have chewed bitter plant material because experience had taught one simple lesson. This makes the hurting smaller. Not a laboratory, memory. Still, someone must notice that one bark changes pain, remember the tree, and find it again. But some toothaches cannot be chewed away. Around 14,000 years ago, a young man buried at Villabruna in northern Italy had a large cavity in one molar. Under a microscope, researchers found V-shaped cuts and parallel scratches inside the hole. These were not chewing marks. A pointed flint tool had been inserted into the cavity and moved repeatedly against decayed tissue while the man was alive. Picture the hand. One finger pulls the cheek aside, another steadies a stone point. The tip enters the rotten opening and scrapes away softened material. Slip once, and the tool hits living dentine. Yet the marks show repeated work. This was not one desperate jab. It was a procedure. Evidence from Chagirskaya cave in Siberia pushes this behavior further back. A Neanderthal molar showed deep decay reaching the pulp chamber. Microscopic marks suggested that someone enlarged the cavity using a small stone tool with controlled rotating movements. Researchers recreated the action on human teeth using Jasper tools. The marks were similar. That means someone had to identify the painful tooth, choose a narrow point, place it inside the mouth, rotate it carefully, and continue through the pain long enough to remove damaged material. Stone Age dentistry. And here's the detail that matters most. Opening the pulp chamber could eventually destroy the nerve. The treatment would have been brutal, but once the nerve died, the pain might weaken or disappear. The infection could remain. The tooth could still fail, but the unbearable signal might stop. Ancient treatment did not need to save the tooth forever. It only needed to make tomorrow possible. By the Neolithic period, dental work became more systematic. At Mehrgarh, in present-day Pakistan, researchers found 11 drilled molars belonging to 9 adults who lived between roughly 7,500 and 9,000 years ago. The holes were round and marked by concentric ridges. The likely tool was a flint tip, spun with a bow drill, technology already used to make beads. A cord wrapped around a shaft. A small bow moved left and right. The bit rotated against enamel. Jewelry making had become dentistry. A few thousand years later, someone may even have used a filling. A 6,500-year-old jaw from Slovenia contained a cracked canine covered with beeswax. The wax may have been applied to protect exposed dentine and reduce sensitivity. Researchers cannot be certain it was treatment, but the material sat where a modern temporary filling would sit, between damaged tooth and the outside world. Soft enough to press, sticky enough to remain, simple, clever. So ancient humans survived toothache by experimenting with whatever they had. Sticks to clean, plants to numb, stone to scrape, wax to cover. But here's the twist. One of humanity's greatest survival inventions made dental disease worse. Farming produced dependable calories. It supported larger villages, more children, and eventually cities. But starch-rich foods also gave mouth bacteria a steady supply of fermentable carbohydrates. Agriculture did not create the first cavities. Hunter-gatherers already had them, but it helped make cavities more common. The technology that fed civilization also created a greater need for dentists. We did not simply progress from bad teeth to good teeth. We solved hunger in ways that created new pain. Then we invented better tools to manage the pain created by the solution. And the real answer is not that ancient humans were tougher. An exposed nerve hurts a Neanderthal as fiercely as it hurts you. They survived because they experimented. They probed, they scraped, they chewed, they drilled. Sometimes the attempt failed. Sometimes infection spread. Sometimes the tooth was lost. But enough people found small pockets of relief to keep eating, sleeping, walking, and staying with the group. Now look at a modern bathroom sink. A toothbrush may pulse for 2 minutes. Fluoride strengthens enamel. Floss reaches places a wooden probe once scraped. A dentist can numb the jaw, photograph the roots, remove infected tissue, seal the canals, and rebuild the crown. Every step is cleaner, safer, and more precise. But the logic is ancient. Find the source, reach it, remove what hurts, cover what remains. Tonight, a toothache can still erase the entire world. Light, conversation, hunger, sleep. Everything collapses into one pulsing point inside the jaw. 59,000 years ago, someone felt that same point and raised a piece of stone. The tool was crude. The idea was not.